Okay, so if you're running ads on Meta's platforms right now, Facebook, Instagram, you've probably noticed things have gotten a little chaotic, right? Campaigns that were once your absolute winners are suddenly unstable, your costs are all over the place, and the old rules just don't seem to work anymore. Well, you're not imagining it. There's a massive shift happening, and it all comes down to one really big question. So let's just dive right in. Is manual ad targeting officially dead? I mean, for years, the best media buyers built their entire careers on being able to meticulously craft the perfect audience. But if you're feeling like all that control has just vanished into thin air, you're on the right track. Because the very foundation of how meta ads work hasn't just been tweaked, it's been completely rebuilt from the ground up. And this right here, this slide, it illustrates the change perfectly. We used to tell Meta who to show our ads to. We'd say, hey, go find me women 25 to 34 who like hiking and also shop online. But now, the AI is asking a totally different question. It looks at a user and it asks, of all the ads I have in my arsenal right now, which one is the most relevant for this specific person at this exact moment? The focus has completely flipped from the audience to the ad creative itself. It's a total 180. So yeah, this isn't just some small software update. We're talking about the end of an era. The age of manual granular targeting as we all knew it, it's over. So let's break down what that actually means for you day to day.
All right, so think of these as the 4 new commandments of advertising on Meta. First, manual targeting is out, going broad is in. Second, and this is the big one, your creative, the image, the video, the copyright, that is the new targeting. It's the signal that goes out and finds your audience for you. Third, those super complex campaign structures with dozens of different ad sets? They're actually hurting your performance now. Simplicity wins. And finally, you absolutely need a constant stream of fresh, diverse creative if you want to stay in the game.
So, what's the force behind this massive earthquake shaking up the ad world? Well, it's a new, incredibly powerful AI system that Meta has been rolling out, and it has a name: Andromeda. To put it simply, Andromeda is Meta's new ad retrieval engine. You should think of it less like a targeting tool and more like a recommendation engine, kind of like TikTok's For You page. It analyzes the creative itself to figure out who is most likely to respond to it, and it does all of this in real time. This slide completely reframes your job as an advertiser. Seriously, you're no longer an audience segmenter. You're now more of a creative curator. Your new job is to feed the machine a wide, diverse library of different ad creatives. Andromeda's AI then does all the heavy lifting, assessing millions of possibilities a second and making that perfect match between your ad and a user. You're basically building a library of creative intelligence for the AI to learn from. Now, of course, this transition, it has not been smooth for everybody. This new system has created a very specific set of problems that, let's be honest, many advertisers are really struggling with right now. The first and most common issue is just performance instability. As Andromeda is recalibrating its understanding of everything, campaigns that were once stable, predictable winners can suddenly show these wild, erratic results. It's a period of relearning for the AI, and it can feel like a really bumpy ride for us. Now, for veteran media buyers, this is a really tough pill to swallow. All those manual levers we used to love to pull, the bid rules, the audience layering, the detailed targeting, they're pretty much ineffective now. This loss of direct control can be incredibly frustrating, especially for those of us who are used to micromanaging every little detail of our campaigns. And this brings us to what might be the biggest new challenge of all, the creative bottleneck. Since your performance now depends almost entirely on the quantity and the quality of your ad assets, businesses that don't have a strong, efficient pipeline for producing unique creatives, they are really struggling to keep up. And finally, of course, a lot of people are seeing higher costs. During this transition phase, as the AI is learning all these new signals and reevaluating the entire ad landscape, metrics like your CPMs and your CPCs can temporarily spike before they eventually stabilize. Okay, so we've covered the problems. We know what's going wrong. But the good news is, there is a clear path forward. So let's get into the playbook for not just surviving, but actually thriving in this new age of Andromeda. Success in this new era really boils down to these 3 core pillars. First, you have to radically diversify your creative. Second, you must simplify your account structure. And third, and this might be the hardest part for a lot of us, you have to learn to let go and actually trust the AI to do its job. This table just lays it out so perfectly. The old way on the left involved all these fragmented campaigns and tons of ad sets just for testing tiny audience variations. The new consolidated structure is so much simpler. One campaign per goal, a single ad set that contains all of your creatives, and you use broad or Advantage Plus targeting to give the AI the maximum possible room to work its magic. And look, when we talk about creative diversity, we are not just talking about changing a button color from blue to green. As this slide shows, true diversity means you're testing fundamentally different emotional angles. You need to be feeding Andromeda creatives that test value, aspiration, transformation, community, and trust. Each of these is a distinct piece of creative intelligence, and it gives the AI a much richer data set to find that perfect match. Of course, none of this matters if you can't actually measure what's working. And just like targeting, the old ways of tracking performance are now pretty much obsolete. To put it as plainly as possible, high-quality data is the fuel that powers this entire Andromeda engine. Without clean, accurate, and robust conversion data being sent back to Meta, the AI is essentially flying blind. It's the caustic saying, garbage in, garbage out. So here's what your tracking stack needs to look like today. First, using Meta's Conversion API, or CAPI, is now mandatory. It's non-negotiable for accuracy. Second, you have to live inside the creative level reports in Ads Manager. That's where you'll see which assets are actually driving performance. And for more advanced advertisers, using multi-channel creative analytics platforms is becoming essential to get the full picture. If you take away just one single thing from this explainer, please let it be this. The new system is designed to reward advertisers who focus on creative strategy, and it punishes those who try to over-engineer and micromanage the algorithm with overly complex structures and targeting. And this brings us to the final and most critical question that you really need to ask yourself. In this new AI-driven world, is your job still just to build ads? Or has your role evolved into something much bigger, much more strategic, building a system of creative intelligence that continuously feeds the machine, learns from it, and adapts? Because the answer to that question is going to determine your success from here on out.